Hi everyone. So we're going to look at factoring here. Now, there's a way to, there's a whole bunch of different ways to factor. There's trial and error, there's grouping, there's synthetic factoring. There's so many ways that are out there. And I've explored with all these things, and in my experience, there's one method that I really like, and it's the fast factoring method. That if you look at fast factoring, that video that I posted, that's my opinion, the fastest way of factoring, okay, when it comes to trinomials. And that's what we're going to be looking at in this video, and the one that I'll be making here in a minute, is how to factor quickly. I mean, everyone knows trinomials are kind of a bear to get through. I have to give credit where credit's due. My colleague Jay Song showed me this method. Where he learned it, I don't know. But let's take a look at these. So if you think you can factor pretty quick, and you have your own way of factoring, then go ahead and hit pause and see if you can go ahead and factor 2, 4, 6, all 6 of these, okay? So go ahead and hit pause if you want. All right, let's see how you did if you got them right. So if you've looked at my instructional video on how to fast factor, then you'll be following right along with what I'm doing. If you look at my class notes, I actually did synthetic factoring on those, which I've long since abandoned. Nothing against it personally. I just don't think it's the fastest way of going about things. I really like this fast factoring approach. A lot of people call it the saw method. All right, so let's take a look at x squared plus 8x plus 15. So what's happening here is you've got a leading coefficient of a 1 here, right? So what this approach would do is you make this giant x, and then you look at the coefficient here, your leading coefficient of a 1. So I'll put a 1 here and a 1 here. And then look at your factors of 15. Now with this approach, usually you want to start with having the two factors that are closest together, okay? In this case, those factors are going to be 5 and 3. So you multiply across the diagonal. 1 times 3 is 3. 5 times 1 is 5. Let's add these guys together. 5 plus 3, that's 8. That needs to be this 8 right here. All right? If it isn't, then you've got the wrong configuration. So I've got the right configuration. Now when I show this approach to people, they're pretty good about picking up on this whole bit. It's getting to the final piece of the puzzles where they kind of struggle sometimes. So how to write out your factors is this. Circle these guys, and this giant x, it's like your variable, okay? So it's like 1x plus 5. That's a positive 5 there. Or just x plus 5. And then over here, you just read across a horizontal. 1x plus 3, or x plus 3. Boom, done. All right, that one's done. Did you get it right? Let's try this next one now. Notice these guys both have leading coefficients that are 1. You know what? And I have not been doing what the factoring hand, which I show in a separate video. First things first, greatest common factor. All right? And I did not do that on a previous one because, well, I didn't have a greatest common factor to pull out. And I'm going to have the same issue on this guy here. So let's just work it out. X squared minus 10x plus 24. My leading coefficient is a 1. All right, so I don't have a greatest common factor to pull out of here. So my 1 I'll put here and here. So again, let's start with factors of 24 that are really close together, okay? Those factors are probably going to be 6 and 4. Let's see if that works. Now, this 24 is positive, which means these two numbers either both need to be positive, or they both need to be negative, okay? Because a negative times a negative is a positive, and of course a positive times a positive is a positive. So how do you know whether it's going to be negative or positive? That guy right there. If your second term is negative, then these two guys both need to be negative, okay? All right, multiply across the diagonals. Negative 6 times 1 is a negative 6. 1 times negative 4 is a negative 4. Add these two guys together. Negative 6 plus negative 4 is my negative 10, which is that negative 10. So, my factors, x minus 6 and x minus 4. Okay? So this video is getting plenty long. I'm going to go ahead and pause this now, erase what we've done so far, and I'll go ahead and make part 2 to this. And there's probably going to be several parts as we go on, all right?